In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this website with the Divi builder. So this is not a design that comes with Divi. This is just a landing page that I found. And I want to show you how easy it is to make a website like this one or very similar with the Divi theme. So here I have my WordPress installation. I already installed the Divi theme, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is create a new page. Let's call it landing page. And I'm going to choose the Divi builder. So when you create a new page, you will be asked if you want to build it from scratch, or you want to choose one of the pre-made layouts or clone an existing page. In this case, we want to start from scratch. So let's click on there. And now we have a blank page. We only have the global header and the global footer, which we will change later. So let's see how this page is. And of course, here we have different sections with different contents. So let's start from the beginning, and I'm going to replicate this. And what I like to do is to download these assets. And to do that, I use this Chrome extension, which makes it super easy. So what I can do here is to select all the images. I think it's called image downloader. So you can select all the images and just download them. As you can see, this has download all the static assets it could find in this page. So if I go to my downloads folder, here I have all these assets. So what I'm going to do is to create a new folder. Let's call it assets. And I'm going to move all this to this folder. So now I have them here. And in this case, as you can see, these are SVG images. So we will need to take another step to be able to use these images, because by default WordPress won't allow you to use SVG images. Let me show you. So what I'm going to do is to create the basic structure of this, which I can tell is we have one section here, and then we have one row with two columns, not the same size, I think. So okay, by default we get one section already added. I like to extend my page so I can have more space to work. And this green button means this is the button with you can add new rows. So let's do that. As you can see, this opens up this window, and we can add the structure of the row that we want. Probably something like this. So, and we can change that later if that doesn't work for us. So in this case, I'm going to add in this right column an image module. And here I'm going to find that image. I think it's this one, yes. So I was telling you that probably we won't be able to upload this. Let me show you. And as you can see, this type of file is not allowed. So we need to change that. So what I'm going to do is click on OK. This is the first time that we save this page, so it will say publish, as you can see. So click on that. Now I have saved this. I'm going to exit the builder. Let's go back to the dashboard. And from here, I'm going to the plugin section and click on add new. And let's search for SVG support, or just SVG. And I usually use this one. So let me install it. This will take a second, and now we need to activate it. And we are ready to use it. You can change some settings, but in this case, it doesn't matter. So let's go back to pages. Here is our landing page. As you can see, we use it with the Divi builder. So I'm going to click here on edit with Divi. And now here, well, we already added the image module. So if we want to change the image, we can click on this icon to change its settings. And click here. And now let's try to add the image. And now we are able to upload it. Okay, so upload image, and there it is. And in this other column, I'm going to add a text module. As you can see, we have one text module. Probably this is an H1, and this is a paragraph, and then we have a button. So I'm going to duplicate this text module, and then let me look for the button, and there it is. Okay. So that's the basic structure. Now we're going to give it some style. And of course, the next thing we could do is to change the background of the section. And here we have like a 2 colors gradient, I think. So what I'm going to do is go to the section. And here in the content tab, we can find the background option. And as you can see here, you have different tabs, so you can set different types of background. The first one is for solid colors. Then we have gradients, images, videos, patterns, and mask. In this case, we will be adding a gradient background. And as you can see, once I have created the gradient background, by default, it comes with these 2 colors. So what I'm going to do is go back to the page, and here I will use this Chrome extension called Colorzilla to get the 2 main colors. So yes, I'm going to use this one. Let's go back here, click on the gradient stop that we want to change, and what I'm going to do here is to use it as a global color. As I'm going to save it as a global color, because maybe we will be using this color code later on other elements. So click on the plus sign. I'm going to paste the color code here. There it is. So now here the top color of the gradient is this blue color that we copied. And let's go back here, and I'm going to do the same with this green color. So now we have copied to the clipboard the code. I'm going to click on this other color. I'm going to add a new global color. Sorry, paste it there. I don't know why that's happening. I click on there, and there. It was very similar. So now, yes, I'm sure. Okay, so now we have a gradient with the 2 colors, but in this case, for what I can see, the direction is completely different. So let's go back to the section settings, to the background. Let's click on the gradient option, and let's change the direction of the gradient. Maybe something like that. Yeah, that's pretty similar. So I'm going to click on OK. Of course, we can improve this result, but to me that looks very similar to me. And probably later when we add the style to the text and the button and the menu, it will look more similar. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is to style this text. So let's say this will be an H1, so I'm going to copy the text. Let's edit this one. I'm going to paste it there, and I'm going to set it as an H1. So what we want to do is to get the color and the font family for this text, and of course let's check if all the text paragraphs and titles are using the same font family. So to do that, I use this Chrome extension called What Font. So click on it, and you hover the text that you want to get the characteristics. Click on it, and it will show you this window with the font family, the style, the weight, size, and everything you want to know. I'm going to copy the color code. This is a 64, and it's using Poppins as a font family. Let's check if this other text is using Poppins as well. Yes, it is. The button as well. The menu is the same. So I'm guessing all the text in these websites are using Poppins, so we can set that as the default font for our website. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and save these changes. I'm going to exit the builder. Let's go here and open the theme customizer. And I'm doing this to set Poppins as the default typography for all the text in the website. So here, as you can see, I went to general settings, typography, and in header font, let's find Poppins. I don't know why this doesn't have a search bar, which is a bit annoying because there are tons of fonts. So Poppins, and for body, we're going to choose Poppins as well. So let's go to Poppins. There it is. Now, as you can see, fonts have changed, and I'm going to publish these changes and close the theme customizer. So now if I click on what font, you can see we are using Poppins in every text of this website. Okay, let's enable the visual builder again. And what I'm going to do is let's get the text characteristics again. So I'm going to in this case, because we define this as an H1, to style this, we need to go to the design tab here. And from here you have text, and then you have this other tab to change settings for headings. In this case, H1. So you can see here, you have H2, H3, etc. So we are using the default font. We shouldn't be changing this anymore. In this case, I'll assume this is like a bold or maybe ultra bold. This was 64 pixels, and we will be adding a new global color and use it. So let's see how this looks. I think it's very similar. There's a difference that here we have only 3 lines. Here now we have 4 here. And well, one of the different things I'm noticing is that this box, the box that contains these elements, is much wider in this website. So what we need to do is to change the rows width. So let's go to the row settings, design. Here in sizing, we'll find that we are using an 80% of the width in a max width of 1080 pixels. So what I'm going to do is to increase this to maybe 1200, maybe a bit more. And I'm not seeing changes because we are using an 80%, and because of the width of my screen, we have reached the maximum. So what can I do is to increase it maybe to 85. Let's see. Yeah, that looks much more similar. I think that's okay. And another thing that I can see it's kind of different is the line height. So here is set to 83. So let's change that. So now let's go to the text settings, design. Let's edit the H1. And this was set to 83 pixels. So now it looks much more similar. Of course, it doesn't look quite the same because the rest of the elements in the page are not styled yet. So next, let's get the style of this text. In this case, it's an 18. Line height is 29. So in this case, this is a paragraph. So we edit that in text. Color is white. This was set to 18. And I think this was 23. Let me check that back. 29. 29 pixels. And I think maybe it's a lighter. Yeah. I'm going to copy this text. Paste it there. And there you go. Much more similar. And now, probably, if I'm very I go to the details, I can tell that the space between these two texts is smaller here. So what can I do is to go to the design tab in the text settings of this first text module. Let's go to spacing and reduce this margin bottom. So as you can see, if I set it to 0, definitely decreases. But I think that was too much, so I'm going to leave it in 15. I think it looks much closer to what we want to achieve. Another detail that I'm seeing here is that this main text has a shadow, as you can see. So let me show you. Okay. I had to restart the recording. I don't know what happened, but okay, I was going to show you how to add the text shadow to this text, and now I have I have highlighted my cursor, so hopefully that's helpful. So anyways, if we want to add a text shadow, we need to open the text settings. Let's go to design. In this case, you will see this box shadow here, but this is not the way to achieve this. If we add this box shadow, it will add a shadow to the module. Let me show you. As you can see, it has added a shadow to the module. But what we want to do is go to the heading text in this case, and from here, in the H1, you need to scroll down. And here you will find the text shadow option. And there it is. So of course there are some predefined alternatives. Maybe something like that is more similar. I think it's smaller. Maybe we can decrease it a little bit, the strength. Yeah, I guess maybe the position is right. We can here add more opacity to it. So I'm guessing maybe actually we need to increase the blur. Maybe something like that. It's very subtle. Now Command S, as you can see, saves the changes. And now we need to style this button here. As you can see here, there's a big space between this text and the button, but what I can see first is that here we have a blank space. So let's remove that, click OK, and now it's much better. So let's go here, and okay, we have let's see, the text style is 18, 24. Okay, so click on settings. Let's go to the design tab, and here you will have this button tab. Open it and turn on the custom styles for button. So the text size should be 18 and the color is white. It's white, right? Yeah. It has I think doesn't have maybe a thinner border. Yeah, just one. And I think it has some opacity, so I'm going to set it as white, and let's add some opacity. Yeah, I'm not going to get exactly the same amount of opacity, but to me that looks pretty similar. Next, I think we need to change this to uppercase. It's 18. Of course, the text is different. It says start a project today. To do that, let's go to the content tab, text, start project today. Of course, from here we can set the link. You can change if you want this button to open this link in a new window or in the same window. I think we have more padding in the top and on the sides, and of course the bottom as well. So to change that, let's go to design. Let's add some spacing, and in this case we will be adding padding. So let's start with something like 12, and here maybe something like 20. Yeah, we need more. Maybe 30. Yeah, much better. And the other thing here is that we have a different color when we hover the button. So to get that color, I'm going to open the inspector. Let's see if we can get it, because sometimes it's a bit annoying. Yeah, here it is. And from here, I can tell that the background changes and also the border color changes. So let's go to our page, button, and in this case, here is the button background option. As you can see, there's no background color set. And what I'm going to do, because what we want to do is to change the color of the background for the hover state, and to do that you need to come here. So as you can see, there's some icons that will appear when you hover elements. As you can see, I place the mouse here and these icons appear. Same here, same here, same here, etc. You get the idea. So of course, this cursor icon, if you click on it, it will open up this other tab, and from here we can set the hover state. So click on it, and now I'm going to add the background color and just paste it there. That's okay. And we need to also change the border color. So let's do the same button border color here. Let's click on the cursor icon. It's already selected here because we set it in the background option. And now, well, what I can do again, in this case, I think it's different. Yeah, it's another color, so I'm going to copy it. Let's go back, hover, and I'm going to add this, paste it here. I think, yeah. And now, so if I change it to desktop, you can see it changes through the different states. And in this case, we have this chevron arrow, which here we don't have. It's not a bad idea to leave it, but since we want to make this look quite the same, I'm going to remove it, and we just need to turn that off. Of course, if you want to use some icon on the hover state or on the normal state, you can choose it from this library. There are a ton of different icons. Anyways, so let's leave that off and click on OK and save these changes. And let's see how this looks. So yeah, it looks very good. It's quite similar to me. Of course, there are some details that we can improve, but it looks quite good. Anyway, let's keep going. So next we have this section. I can tell, of course, this is a different section because we have a different structure, we have different colors, especially on the background. So what we need to do is to get that color. Let's use this color sealer. And in this, I have already added some sections. So let's click on the settings. Let's go to background. In this case, it's a solid color. So I'm just going to paste it here and not adding this as a global element. I could, the global color, I could do that, but I already show you how to do it. And here we have different logos and of course one text. So I'm going to copy that text. So the structure here is quite simple. We have first one row with only one column, and then we could add one row with six columns, or I could add a column with only a row with only one column, and do this structure with CSS. Since that's more complicated, more technical, I will do another video to explain how to do it. Anyway, so let's add one row, in this case only one column. Next, text. I'm going to paste here text, and let's check the style of this text. Using what font? I'm going to copy the color code. This is size 20, line height 24, using poppins as well. So let's click on, let's set this to maybe H2. Let's go to design, and here select H2. Let's change the color. That's okay. Oh. I don't know why it looks so different. Well, sorry, this was 20 and 24. Okay, let's set it to 20. Is 24. And this is all aligned to the center. As you can see, I can move around this box. I can change its size. I can fix it to the top or to a size, I think. Oh, wait, here. Now here, as you can see. But I never use that. I like to do it like this. I like to move it around. Anyways, these are different views. I will show you that later. So anyways, so there's something strange here because it looks so dark. So maybe in this case we are not getting the right style, or maybe this has some opacity. I'm not sure. So I'm going to check this on the inspector, and as you can see, this is the class that gives the style to this element, and in this case it has an opacity of 0.5, and probably is the same here. As you can see, what we do is using here the same class, so that's why it doesn't look quite the same. So what I'm going to do is close this. Let's go to our site, and here I'm going to add some opacity. So I can move this down, and that looks much more similar. And here the text is stronger, so I'm going to change it to lighter weight, and that looks much more similar. Then we have this like underline, but I don't think this is made by underlining, giving an underline property to this text. We could see if that looks similar, but I don't think so, because the line looks totally different. So what I'm going to do here is to add another module, and there's a special module here in Divi for doing this called divider. So there it is, and we can change the style by going to design here in line. And because I didn't save the color of this text, what I should do is go back and copy the color code, or maybe I will find it here in recent. In this case, because we made so many modifications to that color, we'll find the latest, in this case the one that already has the opacity added. So I just need to click on that, and there it is. Of course, it's not a full width. So now that we have give it the proper color, let's go to sizing, and we can change the width. So what I can do is to change the width and align it to the center. I think it's kind of the same width of the text, so I can do it as a percentage. To me, it looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it like that, click on OK, but the space between both elements is not quite right, so I'm going back to the text settings, spacing, and from here I'm setting the margin bottom to 15 or maybe 10. Yeah, I think 10. Even we need to reduce this maybe to 5, I think, yeah. And probably, I'm not sure even if this is the same color. As you can see, it looks much lighter. So what I can do is, again, let's go to the inspector. Let's click on this element. And this is done by adding a border bottom to this element in this case. And guys, you will always find different ways to accomplish the same result. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my way to do it, but I'm going to copy the color code for this. So let's go back here, let's click on the settings, design, line color, and here I'm going to paste that color code, and now we have the same color code with a very similar result done in a different way. That's something that I always say in my videos, because I truly think it's true that you will have so many different ways to accomplish the same result. Anyways, let's keep going. So as I was saying before, here we need to add a new row, and in this case we will be using this one with I think 6 different columns, and each column containing an image. So what I'm going to do is, let's go back to open up the assets folder that we had. Here we have all these logos, and I'm just going to drag and drop all of this here, and I'm not going to replicate the same order, doesn't matter, but what I'm going to do is to add an image here and here Okay, and another way to do this faster is, let's go to the row settings. I'm going to remove the empty columns and I'm going to duplicate these ones. So there we have 6 different columns with the images already added, and now I can just change the image. It's again another way to accomplish the same. And of course, it always depends on what you are doing. If you want to replicate, keep the same style, let's say for one of these elements, this is a great way to do it. So yeah, there we have the 6 logos. And okay, let's say in this case they look kind of different. Here we are having different sizes, so what we can do, I think these 2 logos look way too big. So what I'm going to do is let's go to the image settings, design, and I'm going to set a max width for this one for 100 pixels, or maybe 80 pixels. And in this case, what I want to do is to align the image. By default, you will see it comes aligned to the left, but we want it to be aligned to the center. So in this case, because I didn't do this at the beginning, now I need to replicate this style settings to every element. So a faster way to do that, I think there are 2 ways to accomplish that. In this case, I can hover this image, I can click on the right side of my mouse, and from here we will see this copy module styles. So click on that and I can come to this other image, right click and paste those module styles. As you can see now, this element, if I go to the settings, if I go to sizing, there it is, the max width of 80 pixels, and this is aligned to the center. And another way to accomplish this is to click on these 3 dots on the module. This will open up this drop down, and we can click here on extend image styles, because this image already has the styles that we want to apply to all these other images. We can use this tool. So let's click on that, and it will ask you throughout which images you want to apply this style. In this case, we want to apply to all the images in this row. So I select this row and click on extend, and now all these images have the same style applied. Of course, doesn't look quite the same, and that's because all these images have different sizes. So probably a better way to accomplish a much similar look to this is go image by image. But anyways, what I wanted to do is to show you that we have that tool available. In this case, I'm going to remove the max width for these images, because I don't know what is the image size of each element, each image. So anyways, but what I'm leaving is the alignment. Every image now is set to be aligned to the center. So there it is. Now it looks much more as we wanted. And another thing is that maybe we have too much space here, too much space here. We need to decrease that. And of course, what can I do is go to the section settings. Let's click on design. Let's go to spacing and decrease this padding in the top. Yeah, maybe to 10. And if you click on the change, it will replicate it to the bottom. And that looks much better. And another way to do that is if you place the mouse hover in the border, as you can see, I can modify from here the padding. In this case, because I already link the top and the bottom, it's modifying both at the same time. So I can just drag and drag this around, and it will increase or decrease the padding top. In this case, I can leave it there. Let's check spacing. Yeah, I'm going to leave it in 10. And that's it. Looks much similar to me. Yeah, I could actually leave it in 0. And yeah, I think that's much better. Also, the space between the title and the logos is different. And because this is a row, what I'm going to do is click on the settings. Let's go to spacing. Let's set the bottom to 0. And in this case, there's no margin between these two rows, but there's padding. So I'm going to put that to 0. And that's much more similar to this. Good, looks good to me. So let's save these changes. So let's keep going. And now we have this other section. So here the structure is we have this section, we have one row with one column, and we have another row with 3 columns. So let's copy this. Let's add, well, I already added the section. So we have 1 column row, and then we have a 3 columns row. So what I'm going to do in this case, because this is the same style, I'm going to actually remove this 1 column row, and I'm going to duplicate the one we have here with this icon. As you can see, you can duplicate everything here in Divi. Here, as you can see in the section, you can duplicate sections, you can duplicate rows, and also you can duplicate every type of module, which is incredibly handy, makes things super easy. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and then I'm going to drag it and drop it here. So now we just need to change this text. I'm going to paste it there, and there it is. In this case, the width of the line is different, so let's go to the settings of the line, design, sizing, and let's decrease this width to make it like that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to create this other section, other content in the row. Okay, so I'm going to copy all this. So here we have an image, which is that icon. Then we have a text, and then we have this button, which this could be a text or a button, but I'm going to do it as a button. Okay, so let's add those icons. In this case, I think are these ones. Yes. So I'm just going to drop all 3 there. I'm going to click on design. Let's align this to the center, and that's okay. Now here I'm going to edit the text. I'm going to paste the original text, and what I could do is this could be one image, then one text module, another text module, and a button, module, or this could be another text module. In this case, what I'm going to do is this will be an image. All this will be one text module, and this will be a button. So to do that, we need to first, I'm going to separate this text. I'm going to define this as an H3, and this will be a paragraph. So it's all center. Let's see. This is set to size 18. This is the color code. Probably I'm going to save this color code, and I'm going to go to H3. Let's set this to bold. Let's put it to 18. Everything is aligned to the center. Same with the text. Aligned to the center. This is also 18. And the color code for this, I'm going to add this as a global color. Okay, so let's choose that one. And then in the heading, let's choose this one. Let me check this back. So actually this is 16, so it's not the same. So let's go fix this 16. And this, I think it's light. Okay, looks quite similar. I'm going to click on OK. And now this. So as I was saying, this could be a button or a text module because there's nothing happens when you hover this, but we can do both ways. So I'm going to align this to the center. Let's click on button to customize this. I'm going to leave it in 18, and in this case the color code is this one. That's okay. We don't have a border here, so border width 0, and I'm going to change the text to learn more, and I think that's it. So let's click on OK. What I'm going to do now is decrease this, and as you can see, when I place the cursor, the mouse over the module, I can see this margin to the bottom, so I can decrease that from here. What I don't like to use this because it's not very precise, so I like to go to design, spacing, and I'm going to leave this in 15. Looks fine. And as I told you before, one way I truly like about Divi is how easy it is to duplicate things. And in this case, we have these other two columns that look quite the same. Of course, it changes the content, the icons and the links, but it's the same structure, the same idea, the same style. So what I'm going to do, instead of making each column one by one, I'm going to duplicate this entire column. And another change is, I think I'm going to make this image a bit smaller. So let's set a maximum width of, I don't know, 70. Yeah, I think that's much better. And now I'm going to the row settings. I'm going to remove these empty columns. Of course, now we only have one, and I'm going to duplicate this one with this icon here. So one of my favorite icons in Divi. I use it a lot. And now I only have to change these contents. So let's change it for that. And this other one, let's change it for that one. And of course, I could copy and paste all these text. I'm just going to leave them like that because I just want to show you how easy it is to do this. Let's save those changes. What else? Well, something that's quite weird here is that, as you can see, this doesn't have the same, it looks like they don't have the same height. And in this case, because I think this is because of this image. And because I don't know what's the size, the real size of each of these images, in this case, probably this image has a different size than this one and is pushing down these contents. So what I could do to fix this is, of course, I could check each image and check that they all have the same height and the same width, so this doesn't happen. Or maybe I can fix this by setting a max height. So I don't know, maybe something like that, 70. And in this case, yeah, now they all look the same to me, and the image is fine. So, and because these are SVG images as well, probably, and I don't have the originals, I download them with an extension, so sometimes make some errors, I don't know, but that's a great way to have everything look quite the same. Let's save. Let's go back to the page, and now we have this other section that has this, I don't know if this has it's a gradient. Let's check the color codes. So here, from here, I don't know, it's just a solid color, so I'm just going to copy it. Already have another section added here. Let's paste the color. Okay, and here we have again the same title that we are going to duplicate. This is new. We have more similar to this one, and we have this row with 3 columns. So let's do it. And guys, if you liked this content, if you find this helpful, please, I truly appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. And I'm happy to help you with anything, especially around Divi. I use Divi a lot. I have built more than, I don't know, 100 or 200 websites with Divi. So I do have a lot of experience. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And again, thank you so much for watching, and everything helps if you like the video, if you comment, and of course if you subscribe to the channel. Let's keep going. Okay, so we want to copy this text. In this case, I'm going to copy the text, and I'm not sure why it's not looking quite the same. Oh, because it's set to another color. So in this case, this is white, but of course this also has an opacity. I don't know why they do it like this. Yeah, 0.5. I usually, for text, I like to work with solid colors, but again, everyone has their way to do things. So we have that, and this border line, and in this case, what's happening, let me try to do it this way. So I'm going to remove this, the divider, and what I'm going to do is to add a border. So if I go to the text settings and go to design, to the design tab, here I can click on border, and from here, first you can add some rounded corners, and if you scroll down, you will find this border style. So here you will need to click on which side you want to give a style. In this case, we will set it to 1. I'm going to select white. I'm assuming this is 0.5 as well, but we have the problem that this looks huge And why is that? Because that's the width of the module in this case. This module is by default set to have a full width, 100% width. So we need to change that by going to text settings, sorry. And here in sizing, from here I'm going to set this, I don't know, to third, maybe 100 pixels. Yeah, I think it's 140 will do it. But now that's the entire size of the module, as you can see. But we need to align this to the center, and there it is. Next we will add another row and another text module. So let's go to the original page, and I'm going to copy this text. Let's see the style. This is 50 pixels, line height 65. So I'm going to select this, I'm going to paste it there, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to set this as an H2. And then let's go to design, H2, ultra bold, let's set it to white. This is 50 and 65, so this is 50 pixels, and here is 65 pixels, and this is aligned, it should be aligned to the center. And we have something different here. So as you can see, we have of course this different color in this to highlight, I don't know, these two words. So how can we achieve that? Because there's no way in the tools that comes by default to do that. I can change the color to the entire phrase, but not to only a few words. So to do this, what I'm going to do is to get, first I'm going to get the color code. Again, Colorzilla, I truly recommend it. And I'm going to the content, click on text, and here I'm going to select the words I want to change the color. And I'm going to use this. So doesn't matter, choose whatever you want, say orange. As you can see now, we have changed the color of those two words. And from here, I'm going to click on this tab text. And here I'm seeing the code for this H2 title. And because we added a color to those words, to those two words, here is the style color. So here we can change this code to the one we just copied. And now it's perfect. So let's save this. Now next we need a 3 columns row, and let's see what we have here. So here we have one title, one text module, one divider, another text module, another text module, and a bottom. So that's, for what I can see, the structure being used here. So what I'm going to do is to, okay, so 1, 2, 3. So we have one text module. Okay, then we have a divider. Then we have another text module. I'm just going to duplicate this, put the divider then between those two, and I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to add a button. See, so 1, 2, 3, and button. Of course, looks completely different, but I'm going to start with this one. I like to add the modules first and then give it the style. And another thing is that here we have this background, this white background, but this it's not applied from my perspective. This is not applied on each module. This background is applied to the column. So let's do that. So let's go to the row settings. Let's click on the first column settings, because you can adjust column by column or the entire row. So here we will give it a white background. That's okay. Of course, there's some padding that we will adjust later, and I think there's also some border radius there. Yes. So okay, so I'm going to style this. So this is 16, and okay, I will change that later. So okay, this is set to 16. Everything is aligned to the middle, I think. This is the color code. We already saved that color here as a global color, so we can reuse it. That's okay. And we will change the color for this line. So I'm going to pick this one and give it some opacity. Oh, something very important. I made a mistake here because I used a global element and I modified it. So if I click now, it will ask me if I want to modify this global color. But if I do that, it will modify for every element that has this color applied. So I won't do that. What I'm going to do is go to the saved, and I'm going to just pick black, and I'm going to give it some opacity. Of course, I can find the right color later, but that's okay. Okay, then I'm going to select this, and I'm going to leave it like that by now. Copy this, and then I have contact us, this button. Contact us. And another thing I'm going to do, because it bothers me, I'm going to increase the width of this row. This is something similar to what we did in the beginning, in the first section. So I'm going to increase this to 95% and this to 1300. So now we have more space and wider columns. And next I'm going to, again, let's go back to the row settings. Let's go to the settings on the first column, design, and I'm going to add some padding. So this padding, for those who don't know what it is this like margin to the inside of the element. So as you can see, everything inside now has this space, this border. So I think, yeah, it's something like that. We will get to it. Anyways, okay, so let's keep going. So this, I remember, was set to 16, yes. And I don't know what happened there. I think I removed something, but doesn't matter. So just like that. And this one is this. So this should be set to 16. And this to this color. Same here. At least this color, because we know this is different. And last but not least, we have the button. So we have, in this case, what I could do is to maybe copy this, but it's not exactly the same. So I'm just going to redo this. So let's go to the settings, design, button, turn on custom styles. And this is 18. Of course, this is aligned to the center. Let's go back here. And we want to get this color, but because it changes when we hover the element, I'm going to get it from here. So there it is. So this is the background. And this text color should be set to white. And let's say the border color here is the same one, but doesn't have this border radius, or maybe just one. And in the case when we hover this, it changes to this color, to the one we have here. So that's okay. And same, this is the same we did in the beginning. So border color should be set to this color code. And that's it. Looks quite similar. Maybe we can, yeah, it has more space to the size, so the sides. So what we need to do is go to spacing and add a lot of padding to the sides. Maybe some more padding to the top and to the bottom. And I think it has like something like that. And again, let's go back to the bottom, custom styles. And in this case, I made the mistake that I also changed the border color for the normal state. So in this case, I need to modify that. So this color, it's for the hover state. So I'm going to put that there. And in the desktop, we need this one. And that's okay. So now it looks much better. I know this text, we need to decrease the margin bottom maybe to 20, maybe 25, and same here. This divider by default has a lot of margin bottom, so I decreased that to 15. Looks quite fine to me. In this case, this text, it has some text set to bold. You can do this from here, from the content tab, and you can select this. This is very normal. And yeah, quite frankly, I won't go into leave it exactly like how it looks here, because it looks fine to me. And now we need to change the size of this. So to do this, let's go to this text. And what I can do from here is, because I don't have the, again, very similar to this, there's no option to change a style for an element, for a specific element, in this case for a specific word. But what I can do here is to apply some CSS to this. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to click on the text here, and I'm going to turn this into a span element. I'm going to give it a specific style. So what we're looking for is font size. From here, we want to set this to, I don't know, 40 pixels. As you can see, it's changing only what's inside the span tag. Not sure if that's the right size. Looks actually looks quite right to me. In this case, it's set to rem. And another thing I'm going to do is to change the font width to 700. Sorry, font weight. And that looks so similar. Now we need to come here. No, this is a text. And align this to the center. And there it is. So quite similar, of course. We can make it look exactly the same, but I'm happy with the results. Another thing is, I told you we need to improve these columns. So what we are missing is for the radius. So here I went to the row settings, click on the settings for the first row, design, border, and from here we can round those corners. So let's see if I add, I don't know, maybe 5. I think that was too much, maybe 3. Yeah, and that's good. So let's leave it like that. And there it is. And now I'm going to do the same I show you here. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to remove those and duplicate these ones. And something I haven't showed you yet is what happens when we have different heights in these columns. So let's say the text here in this column, it's different. So what happens is that it looks different because in this case, in the middle column, the height is given by the elements inside the column. So that's why it doesn't look with the same height. But we can change that going to the row settings, design, click on sizing, and from here we can click on turn on this equalize column heights. And as you can see, now the 3 columns have the same height, and it will have the height of the column with that has more height. I don't know how to say it, but anyways, you get the idea. So that's pretty handy when you have columns with different elements inside. Let's keep going. So I'm going to save this. Let's go back to original page. So we're getting to the final sections. So we have something similar to this one. I think it's the same background color. This is same style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this entire section and I'm going to move it to the bottom. So from here I can drag and drop it, and sometimes this is a bit annoying. So another way to do this is here. As you can see, we have this menu. You can change the view. So if you want to see how this will look on a phone view on mobile, and I will talk to you more about this later, of course, for tablet. And here we have like a wireframe view, and in this wireframe view we can see, of course, all the elements, and this is very useful when you want to move around some things like this one. So let's say this section here, the one we just duplicated, we want to move it around. So you can just move it around. Super simple. If we go to the desktop view, well, it didn't move. I don't think I move it right. Let me show you with this one. And there it is. So if I go to the desktop, yeah, it has changed. And of course I can do it from here as well. Again, different tools, different ways to achieve things. So I'm going to copy this text. I'm going to change it here. And guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope this is useful. And if you like this content, I truly appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, like, and if you have any question, please leave them in the comments down below. So here we have 3 columns, so I'm going to add a new row with 3 columns. That's okay. And in this case, I'm going to, because we duplicated this, we have styles set to 0 here, which I'm going to change to remove. And from here, we need to add an image. I guess we have the team's pictures here. Yes, of course. So again, I'm going to create one column and then duplicate it because they have the same exact style. So we need to align this to the center, and then we have this text, which it can be done with only one text module. So what can I do here is to set this maybe as an H3, and now I'm going to, sorry, keep clicking on that. Now what I want is this one. So having H3, I'm going to set this as a bold, align it to the center, paste the color code there, and text, I'm going to increase this to 16 and leave it like that. You get the idea. Of course, this is another color. I got the one when we hover this, because probably the idea of this is that you can go into the details of this person, but anyways, I'm going to leave it like that, or otherwise this will turn into a very long tutorial. But you get the idea. It's what we have been doing. So this, we need to modify the width. So again, there's so many ways to accomplish this. And last but not least, we have this section. Well, not last yet, because we have the footer and we still need to create the menu. Anyway, so okay, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to add one column row. We can copy this. I'm going to duplicate it, and now I'm going to drag it and drop it here. Remove this one, and then we have an image, which is, I think it's like a flag icon, open source icon. It's there. I'm going to align this to the center, and then we have this huge text, which I'm going to paste here and set as an H1. This should be actually an H2, but anyways, ultra bold. Let's check the style of it. 70 and 84, so 70 pixels, line height 84, everything aligned to the center. Looks quite good to me. And then we have this button, which in this case looks very similar to the one we created at the beginning, except that doesn't have this hover state. I don't know why, but I'm going to copy this. And okay, now here's another way to do this. So we can duplicate it and drag it, or I can come here, place the mouse over the module I'm interested in, click on the right click and copy module. So let's scroll down, and from here I can click on the right click and paste it. And here it is. Let me move it here, and I don't know what I did. Let me check it out, because there it is. Yeah, because everything is white. Okay, so we need to change that. So first, this button is aligned to the center. Next, color here is set to this one. Oh, but I changed the background. No. Here, text color. That's okay. And we need to add some border to this. So I'm thinking something like this. And that looks quite good to me. Follow us on GitHub. So, of course, GitHub. And I'm going to leave it just like that. But looks quite good. And of course, the purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to use this visual builder so you can create websites like this one. So I'm going to save it. And one last thing I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to go into the details because I want to do another separated video specifically of this, is how to make your website responsive for mobile, which today is a must. So I told you already that from here you can open up this mobile view, this phone view, also a tablet view, and of course from here you can select different types of devices, something very similar than when you use the inspector and you select the mobile view like this. So as you can see here, of course, the style of some elements change when we see this on a phone. And we need to be able to make those changes to the different elements. For example, this text is huge, so we don't need this to look that big on mobile. So to fix this, or not fix it, but to make those changes, we open the mobile view. And what we can do here is go to the module settings. In this case, what we want is to use a different font size. So let's click on design. This was an H1. And in this case, let's go to the text size option. And from here, again, same way as we were able to set an hover state, we are able to set a size, a specific size for different devices. And we need to use this icon. So click on the mobile icon. It will show you these three tabs, same tabs as these views. So here we have the desktop, the tablet, and the mobile, the phone view. And of course the default is the first we set, which was the desktop size. And in this case we want it to be, I don't know, like 24. And same with the line height. So let's say we want 26. And now it looks much better. And you can do exactly the same with most of the modules and most of the style settings. There are some times that a setting doesn't have the ability to do this, but well, it depends on what you want to do. As you can see, it's available here, it's available here, here as well, here as well. So it's pretty much available everywhere. Anyway, so as I was saying, I'm going to do a full tutorial on this, on how to optimize your website for mobile to make it responsive. But if you have any questions about that, please let me know. And we just need to create the footer and the header. So I'm going to save all the changes. As you can see, this looks quite similar. And I'm going to exit the builder. Yeah, it looks very good to me. And now we want to create the footer. So to do that, I'm going to the admin, and from here we will go to the Divi options, and we have here this Divi builder, this theme builder, I'm sorry. And this is one of my favorite features as well. So this theme builder allows you to create specific styles for specific elements on specific pages or type of pages. So let's say you want a specific header or a specific footer with a specific background color for all the, I don't know, for all the posts. So you want a specific footer for your post, and you want it to be different for your home page and your contact page or your about page. This is the place to do that. So first we're going to create a global footer. That means that this footer will be applied to every page. So let me show you that. So as you can see, by default, first thing we can do is build a global footer. That's what we're going to do. In this case, it's very simple. I think I'm not going to entirely build it. I'm going to copy this color. We have already the section, so I'm going to paste the color. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So let's add that. This is the layout we want. Definitely this should be bigger. So let's leave it like that. And each column has like text that is set to a white color. Of course, you can easily copy this or create your own footer. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And now let's save these changes because this is the first time. So now I'm going to go to pages, and let's open this landing page we were creating, and there it is, our footer. So what I'm going to do is to open this sample page. I'm going to go back to the theme builder, and I'm going to create a new template. In this case, this template will be, as you can see, you can set templates to be for pages, for all pages, for specific pages, for children pages, for your posts, for your blog, for your category pages, whatever you want. So in this case, I'm going to make a footer for sample page. So let's create this. I don't want to use the global footer, so I created a template, and by default applies the global footer. So I'm going to remove it and create a custom footer. So let's build a custom footer. So in this case, I'm going to add a different color. Let's say we want that to be gray, and I'm going to add the same for rows with a text here and an image and whatever, doesn't matter. So okay, going to leave it like this. Let's save these changes, and here again. So let me show you. Here was the sample page I opened up. Previously I created this second footer, and now I'm going to refresh this page and I'm seeing this other footer that I created specifically for this page. If I go back to the landing page and I refresh this, it's still showing me this. So that's the power of the theme builder. And now last we need to create this. So what I'm going to do is to create a global footer, a global header, and in this case, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. Actually, I'm going to discard this, going to remove this, and I'm going to save this, and in this case, I'm going to theme options, and from here we can add a logo. So let's upload the logo. It should be somewhere here in these images. So I think, yeah, here it is. So let's set it as the logo and let's save these changes. So we currently have the Divi logo, and now because this has a white background, we don't see it. So let's change that. In this case, what I'm going to do is open up the theme customizer. Let's go to header and navigation, and I think primary menu, and from here we can establish the background color, and what we want to do is to turn this to full transparent. So now we see the logo and it looks the same. And as well from here, because what we are editing here is the header and the navigation, we can set the text color to white, and I think it's white. Let's check that out. Yes, so it's white by default. It has some opacity, but we don't need that. And of course we can replicate the styles, but that's how to do it. So let's publish this, and as you can see, there it is. In this case, by default, the Divi menu is set to be fixed, and as you can see, it follows you. But in this case, it doesn't have that behavior, and that's something we can change from here in the theme options, and we can disable it. So let's save it. Let's go back here, and if I refresh the page, now it doesn't scroll down with us. And the last thing I want to show you is, well, this menu, and here by default it has the search bar enabled. I'm going to hide that. So let's go to the theme customizer. Let's go back to header navigation, and from here we have these header elements, and as you can see, it has the search icon active by default. So with that, I just remove it. And by default, we are seeing these pages. That these are all the pages I have in my website right now, but this is not showing me a specific menu that I have created. So to do that, let's go back to the admin, and in appearance you will find the menus. So click on that, and as you can see, we don't have any menu created. So let's create the first one. Let's call it main menu. I'm going to choose that this menu should be shown in the primary menu, and click on create it, and now we have created our first menu. And you can create as many menus as you want and use it in the defined locations, or you can add the menu module as well. In this case, what I'm going to do is to add, I don't know, this to the menu, but I can change its name to home. And what I'm going to do is to add some custom links. So I will show you why. So this is why. This menu, because this is a landing page and everything is in only one page. If you click on what we do, this scrolls or take us to this section. If I click on pricing, it takes us to this section. So if we want to do that, so we want to what we do. And what I'm going to do is what we do. So you need to create your custom link, adding an anchor. This is what it's called, anchor, and of course the name that you want. So I'm going to create another one called pricing, and pricing, and there we have the menu. So let's save that. If I refresh this, we should see it there. There it is. But if I click here, nothing happens, and that's because we need to set where those anchors should take us. So in this case, this is the what we do section. So how we do this is, let's go to the section settings in this case, and you can do this with different elements, but it makes sense to do it in the section level. And from here, let's go to the advanced tab, click on this first one, the first tab, and from here we will establish the ID, which is the unique identifier for this element, and we will set it to what we do. Click on OK, and let's do the same with pricing. So settings, advanced, and let's call it pricing. So be sure to do this on the ID setting, CSS ID, and not the class. And let's save these changes, exit the builder, and now let's click on this. And as you can see, by default Divi comes with this behavior that scrolls down very smoothly to the section that you're clicking. So if I click on pricing, it takes us there, and I think it looks much better. The experience is much better than this one that directly jumps to the section. So I think that's it, guys. That's it for today, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you watching the videos, and I truly hope this is helpful, especially for those starting with Divi. This is an amazing theme. So let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe to the channel if this was useful to you, and I truly appreciate if you give it a like or leave me a comment. And if you still don't buy the Divi theme, please consider using the links I will leave in the description, because it's an affiliate link. I get a small commission on those sales. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.